been a long time. It was like 15 years ago I joined Scuderia Ferrari, initially as a test driver role, which I still do in a way, but a long time ago testing was very important. It was unlimited. You would go testing all the time. And then I spent quite a few years developing the simulators, which now they are very important in Formula One because most of the development of the cars off-season and even during the season, we use the simulators for that a lot. And I go to all the Grand Prix, helping the drivers, the engineers, and I work then with other departments. So I still drive the Formula One cars, but in a different way, more simulator job now than it used to be in the past. The race weekend takes from Wednesday to Sunday, and there's a lot of back-to-back races, which means that after the Sunday Grand Prix, you may have just a couple of days home, because Wednesday you have to be in the next Grand Prix, especially now that the calendar is growing. When I was racing as a Formula One driver, there were 16 Grand Prix, and now we're gonna probably it's 22, but it's going to be 25 at some point, they say. So that means there's a lot of back-to-back races, which means you have like 2 or 3 days at home. But I like to be with my family. I like to train physically because that's important. And then you have some work preparing, maybe even overseeing how the previous race was and preparing the one that it's about to come. When I was a very, very small child, I used to play just with the little cars, you know. So it is true that in my family, my father did like cars, but it's something that it was natural in me. I think my family, or my father in that case, made it grow inside me, and he gave me the facility to live more that world. The first time I started really considering to do it seriously was into go-karting. All Formula One drivers they've done go-karting when they were young. So I did go-karting I come from Spain, so I was Spanish champion, then I did the European Championships, and then eventually you really realize that it's becoming something very serious. But I had a lot of passion already from a very early age. I think there's a lot of similarities between 8-Cup and Ferrari in that respect, because you are always trying to improve, and the car is in constant development, race by race. So the engineers are always trying to optimize and get more performance out of the car, adapting to every Grand Prix, because every Grand Prix is different. It's different venues, different circuits, different weather. The competitors may behave different on every race. So it's just this drive in always trying to continuously improve. And I think that's where, with our official supplier like 8-Cup, we have some similarities. This is a team sport. Formula One is a team sport. Of course, everybody sees Sebastian Vettel or Charles Leclerc on the podium, but behind this podium there is a lot of effort, not only from the team who are on the Grand Prix, but also the people who work in Maranello, in the factory. So yeah, you have to realize that if any small thing in this team, in this chain, is not perfect, it's very unlikely you're going to win. So we have to realize and always thank the team. And Formula One is a perfect example on that, because as I say, yes, do people follow the drivers, but without the team, the drivers, it's impossible they could win a race. Normally you have to, more practice makes you a better driver, or even it's the way that you improve the car. So this consistency, and I believe a lot in that. Yes, if you want to improve, you have all the time think about how to improve, and there's always room for improvement all the time. So whether you do it through computers, because nowadays a lot of simulation is done through computers, through the simulators, then driving on the track. So yeah, we share these values, that you always try to think how you can do something which is already very good. How can you improve it? How can you do it better? For the next 4 or 5 years, I'd like to still be doing the job I do. I like it very much. I don't even feel it's a job for me. I live my passion. And Ferrari is my second family, and I feel it's a privilege for me to work for that team. It's the team that everybody dreams of to be part of, because Ferrari is the most successful team in the history of Formula One. No one has won as many Grand Prix or championships as Ferrari, let alone also what it means, the brand, for the road car division, which is also a very aspirational car. I think everybody dreams one day to drive a Ferrari road car. So for sure in 5 years' time, I see myself in Ferrari. Doing which job, I don't know, but I would like to carry on with Formula One. Formula One is all I dreamt when I was a child. Then I managed to be a racing driver for a few years in Formula One, and now I'm part of this amazing team, which is Ferrari. So I really hope I keep coming to Melbourne, and because it's great to start the F1 season here, and I hope that keep working for the team and helping the team in any way I can. Reaction time in F1 is super important, and I think there's a lot of similarities also with the environment where 8-Cup operates, because of course you always plan things in a way, but in Formula One not always things turn up as you expect they will turn up, and therefore you need to react very quickly. You need to be flexible. Flexibility is super important, both for the drivers, for the engineers, and I think whoever reacts quicker would have an edge over the competitors. And I think on that respect, between Formula One and 8-Cup, where they both work, is a very similar environment. And I think Ferrari on that respect also, and 8-Cup, I believe they have an edge. Ferrari in Formula One is driven by technology. Also the human aspect is also very important. And I believe also that there's a lot of similarities with 8-Cup, because 8-Cup also is a technological company, but at the end of the day, it's driven by people. And in Formula One and Ferrari is similar. We use technology in Formula One. The engineers, they use it to improve the performance of the car. The strategy team also uses technology to do the best strategy possible, and even have information in case you have to change it. And even we drivers, we use technology, we use computers or telemetry in that respect to improve our driving style and to compare your driving with your teammate and see where can you do something better. So technology, computers are used all the time, but the final decision, it always ends up with the person, with a human being. And I think that mix in Formula One is something very similar that you may find in 8-Cup, and using technology to improve yourself, that's what we are all the time looking for in Formula One. My favorite Grand Prix is Melbourne, because of the city, because of the people, the country. It's really great coming here. There may be other tracks around the world which are more exciting, like Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, or Suzuka, or Monza in Italy. But the atmosphere that we have in Melbourne is just phenomenal, and we are all very, very happy, and me personally, to be here, yes.